Today, we're talking a new bait to the market. Basically been all the hype in the Berkley line this past summer. We're talking some Flux Gill. Two different sizes. Hunter Shryock is going to join us here. But before we get into that, welcome to the Lure Lab. And I'm your host, the Captain, Andrew Full. And as always, the Lure Lab is presented by Omnia Fishing. And anything that we talk about today will be listed down below in the description. So hit those links, head over to Omnia, type in Serious 10. You're going to save 10% on your total order. But this one's cool. We're talking about the Flux Gill with Hunter Shryock, like I said, in every single way that you can rig it, what makes it so special, all the technology and ideas that went into creating this bait. It's going to be a good one. You need to add it into your arsenal. So make sure you check it out and get it rigged up, get out there and catch a bunch of bass. So without further ado, let's get on Hunter. All right. Well, welcome back to the Lure Lab, Hunter. It's been a little bit. I think actually the last time we had you on, we were talking frog fishing and you dove into the little glass rattle modification.
Oh, wow. I forgot we did that. I thought we did something like flipping and pitching. We didn't. It
We
was
may
on the
have,
frog.
but the frogging one is the one that stands out to me the most.
Okay.
That episode was awesome. So gonna have to link that down here below for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
But that was a good one. But man, how was the season for you? How are things going?
And I know we just got it's been a while now. It feels like we just got wrapped up, but
Time
up
flies.
and up and down season. Pretty typical about every season, but we wound up on the backside of it this year. Not too thrilled about that, but it is what it is. We had a good start to the year. We had a great event at the Classic, and then just some events that I just missed the mark completely. I feel like you start to get, when you have those events where you do really well, it's like you don't want to settle for, that you're not on the deal and you're going to have a mediocre finish, which I say mediocre finish, you're cutting a check, right? And it's like I didn't want to settle for that. I wanted to keep exploring in those events, and I completely bombed. And so it's kind of uncharacteristic of me because I'm kind of used to just grinding those ones out. But we learned you learn the most when you get your butt kicked. I
Or
feel
when
like.
you take swings, right? And you're trying to learn on the fly. Cause I mean,
Yeah.
we're always learning. So like you do have, like, in my opinion, as a tournament angler, and I can't speak on like the level that all of you guys are competing on,
It's
but
all
I
the
feel
same.
like
It's
the,
all the same.
the biggest lessons you learn are on the lessons that are during the situations that you miss, right? Like, cause
Sure.
you're like,
Yeah.
why did I get away from what I do and what historically gets me to where I need to be? So,
Right.
but if you hit a home run in that situation, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
like there's something that I figured out here. And now I need to figure out what it was that I figured out. Right.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and
But yeah,
sometimes it doesn't translate everywhere.
it's a moving target. It's like, yeah, I did find out that which it's something that we always knew, that you swing that many times, more than likely it's like you're not going to hit a home run, right? Like the odds of that is very slim. So the more you keep doing it, yeah, it increases your odds eventually, but it's still you know, you're taking unnecessary risks, so to speak. And some guys that they're just that good. They're natural. I say natural. They're just literally that good that they can do that stuff. But I can say that in years past where it's like one fish here, oh, if I wouldn't have done that and it went your way, right?
Yeah.
So it's like just a couple of events where those, like, literally, this close to being, you're here, but you're back here. But that's fishing against the group that we're in. It's getting tougher and tougher every season. But no, I'm looking forward to next season, though. We got an awesome schedule. The whole flip up with forward, no forward. I got to actually look at which events we can and can't do that. But Overall, we got river tournaments and stuff like that. So, back to work and we'll figure it out and get started.
Yeah, ready to get grinding, as they would say, right?
Grinding,
Like,
yes. I mean, and we're starting early. So, like first week of February, we'll be at Gunnersville.
mm,
So, it's a lot. 3 weeks doesn't seem like a lot, but at that time of the year, 3 weeks is. I mean, guys are getting their boats usually at the beginning of February.
yeah,
So,
you better get your ducks in a row in a hurry, right?
yeah, we might have some ice. It might be some New York weather down here. Maybe not
Great.
as cold, but it could be cold. So,
Well, go catch him up next year. But we got a cool episode for everyone here, right? Like new bait to the market. It
yep.
seems like it was like the hype when everybody was hiding it in their hands all summer long. But you know, the Flux
Yeah,
Gill.
I did not get yes, the Flux Gill. I did not get my hands on this soon enough. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, what?
Um,
Why? What are they doing to you? Oh, that's a
I
good one.
mean, I mean, honestly, it's production, right? Like
Yeah,
trying to come up with as many samples and then not giving it to everybody, or you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm gonna give it to so and so, but not this guy. So I think they kind of tried to keep it as level as they could before they could ramp up production. But
for sure.
such a cool bait, and I just there's so many different ways you could use this thing,
Yeah.
and I think ultimately, the shape's been out, right? That's nothing new, but to have that in Maxscent is special, and that's
Yes. You know,
kind of like
that voodoo bass fishing word game changer, it kind of is like that shape getting max scent. And if it's, I mean, max scent is not a durable thing at all, but like that's the trade off, right? You're taking the durability for bites and max scent gets bites.
sure,
So give
yep,
me a less durable bait that gets me
yeah,
bites.
and that's it. Like for me, like the material itself, like that's what I wanted to kind of dive into first. I mean,
Sure.
for
Yeah, I was
bag.
going to ask you, why is it different from other traditional soft plastics? So let's dive into it.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, yeah, it's a gill shaped, it's a shad shaped bait, but the material itself, this is what's going to separate that and make this shape so special. Just Maxen in general, and I think you look back to being innovative and stuff like that, and people, companies wanting to copy, blah blah blah. Oh, they did this. Well, they came out with this stuff, and I don't think they've really gotten enough credit for what they've created, because this is flipped, not this bait, but the Maxent in general has flipped the smallmouth world upside down. What, starting back in like 2018 when
Yeah.
it came onto the scene, it just went bananas,
Well,
right?
I feel like it took a year or 2 as well, like, it came out
It
on the
did.
scene, everyone's like, "Oh, whatever," and then I think it was, the event that Bertrand and Lucas were duking it out on the St. Lawrence, and
Yep.
it's like,
They caught him at on Oahe in
that's right.
2018, and then they took it to the St. Lawrence, and then it just became like it was all sold out. Nobody could get it. It and the shapes weren't anything special, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not like the shape and the action. Like it has those characteristics, but it's the scent and stuff itself and how it disperses the scent, and that's what makes Maxscent what it is. And you take in bait like this and you have those characteristics, like I think people underestimate what this can do with largemouth. And I did the same thing when I first got Maxent. I didn't really translate it like everybody's catching them on smallmouth. Oh, it's just a smallmouth bait. Well, at what point? Like, I'm not a scientist, right? I'm not a scientist, but like the largemouth, they use scent too. Now,
they love it.
is it the same? Like if you put it on a scale, like what is that scale? But dude, I've fished this stuff and literally went from using just normal power bait to using Maxscent, and it's just like a light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
Um,
The
biggest thing for
first
me,
I'm gonna take you back a little bit, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think there was an event, it was a Winyah Bay that you were flipping the
yep,
creature hog shortly right after it came out, and it's like,
yep,
yep, largemouth are gonna eat this as well, right?
yeah,
Like, you're up in those
100%.
those what are those trees called? Because we don't have them up here in the north.
Oh, cypress trees and
Cypress
stuff.
trees. You're
Oh,
fishing
yeah.
like the cypress knees in that river, and you're all by yourself, right? I
Yes.
forgot what
Yeah.
river it
And
was,
I
but
was only getting a few bites a day anyhow.
yeah,
So, um, and what at what point, oh, it's not a largemouth style bait, but dude, like if I can get more bites because of scent, like I've heard guys say scent doesn't matter. Well, I don't know what it is, scent, taste, whatever, that, but it's going to create more bites.
yeah.
So, well, the biggest thing for me is like when if I'm throwing a jig, okay, on my active target 2, and I see a fish and I throw my jig over there, what's it do? It swims down, it sits there on the bottom, and your line didn't swim off. And you're like, I know, I can't see the fish now, but I know he's down there looking at it. And I'm like, do I shake it? Do I hop it? And all of a sudden, like 5 seconds, and it goes, I don't feel it. It just swims off. I set the hook. And I'm like, huh. All the time, those fish go down there and they sit there and stare at that thing. Now, I've used different jig trailers. They go down and I'd never get a bite.
Or
Okay.
they go down, and all of a sudden you see them kind of blob back up, and you're like,
but dude, like I will never throw another jig trailer besides Maxscent just for that reason. So that thing's down there, the whole jig's
yeah,
going, and I don't care if it's the little general for smallmouth or if it's the Maxscent creature hog, and I cut it down and I use that for largemouth, which is phenomenal. That's a juice tip. I put that out there this year, but so taking all that, why would you not want to use a bait that in the long run is going to generate more bites and they hold on to it? So that's, to me, the whole with the material. And the cool thing about this material is not only, is it just scent on the outside, it's literally a sponge like that. The water flows through the bait. So you're getting scent dispersion, not just from the outside of the bait. Like if you were to put your own scent on and it just comes off in like 3 casts, it's going to stay giving it scent with all the baits. So
yeah.
let's dive into what makes the Flux Gill special. First off, you got the honeycomb design on it, and those are holes right through the bait. That's why it has the name Flux. So it's like an influx of water. I don't even know if I'm using that right. I'm not a scientist. Okay,
It's
I'm
okay.
not.
We won't hold you to it.
But with the holes being there, what that's doing is creating more surface area for that water to touch all that material. That's not rocket science. Like that, it's genius by them though, because not only are we getting more scent out of that one plastic, but it's also creating a super unique action because it's built all around that center core, and so it just allows this thing to twist and flow super easy instead of if it was just one solid bait. And then
Yeah.
the shape, yeah, the shape's not really crazy. It's not like it's anything special. But what I really like about it is that it is flat, both sides. It's not rounded. I mean, it's slightly rounded, but it's about the flattest bait that you're going to run across.
Hmm.
And
I didn't even notice that. Now I got to open my pack and look at it. Thanks. Yeah.
yeah, dude, like that's a big deal. Because what that's going to enable things to do is now have a glide. And anytime you get a bait that changes directions and does a little bit something different, that big profile, like it holds so much water. So no matter what you're really putting it on, if you don't overweight the bait, this bait is going to glide and fall around. And that alone is going to generate bites.
Is
And
that why a
then
lot of guys are rigging it with like a Neko rig?
Nico, a
Nico,
light
Neko,
Ned
however you
head.
say
I
it.
mean, dude, literally, listen, here's this. We can talk about rigging and we're going to, but you can rig, I mean, every way that you can rig a soft plastic, this can be utilized. Like you can go into, a free rig, Carolina rig, everything, but literally you can do it all. And I'll talk about some of my favorites, but also just how, like easy that is to move the
It
tail.
quivers.
It quivers, and we've all seen the video. If you haven't seen the video, um, of this thing under the water, like on a Nico rig and
Looks
stuff,
unreal.
it's floating like this, so that's the other unique side about it. But it comes in 2 different sizes. This is the 5.5, or 5.3, and then the small one, which is what I've really played around with. This is
So
a
would you
3.
say you reach for the 3.5 over the 5.3 more often?
I do. I flip the 5-inch for flipping laydowns and stuff. But everything else, I've used the smaller one. But that's just for the sake of I wanted to generate some bites. Really haven't. I've got to play around with this, creating content around the bait, which was super cool. But the 5-inch, look at that thing. Just throw this thing weightless under a dock this spring and see what happens. Like weightless, no weight in it. When you see all those brim up there when it's post spawn and all those bluegills are floating up under the dock slips,
And that sunfish color, right? Like that's the one.
any of them. I
Yeah,
throw in
color
the
doesn't
green
matter in
pumpkin
my
the most, but this is a pretty. Yeah, you got the sunfish one. That's this one right here,
Yeah.
correct?
That
That's
color
juicy.
looks unreal.
That's
A
juicy.
little bit of pink, like that watermelon pink flesh
It's juicy.
color to it.
Oh, it's got a little gold flake in it too.
Yeah.
You're not going to go wrong with it. And then what I ended up doing, so I've thrown it on a free rig. I've caught them on a free rig. I've caught them on a Tokyo rig. So, it's down there on the bottom, just bouncing above, super easy. But Texas rig flipping, that's a no-brainer. But
Probably goes
also,
through grass pretty easily too because it's so slender.
yeah. But putting it as a jig trailer, like
Oh, it
using
probably
this
skips
guy,
like a dream.
buddy, you can't mess it up. So this is I should have just put it up, but I posted a video, and the cool thing about it is when you're using it as a jig trailer, so you start tearing the plastic, right? And now you basically you were talking about how it's not very it
Durable.
doesn't last very long. Yeah, the durability, right? So now as a jig trailer, it's up there being held on by the keeper, and let's say you tear it. And honestly, it would take a couple fish to tear it. And so now all I do is take a pair of scissors and cut the head at an angle, right? And I just repurpose this thing. And literally you could repurpose it all the way down to where you barely have, right, a little nub as a tail.
Here's
But
a hot
obviously,
take for anyone that needs to trim it. Just use your teeth. It tastes great.
yeah, I've done it before. It won't leave your mouth for like 2 days. It would be like eating burnt barbecue or something. But
It's just a hot tip. I don't recommend it.
no, you really can repurpose this thing though. Just
No,
don't do it
that's what
with
I'm saying.
your
Use the
teeth. Yeah,
scissors. Don't use your
yeah.
mouth.
Use
Like,
scissors, please. Any kind of scissors. And the other thing is rinse your scissors off when you cut it, because it will probably rust your scissors. So, but yeah, it's super super cool, and you can do that same way with a Texas rig. You can repurpose it just a little bit of a trim, and it's down a little further. And like if you're just out fun fishing, why not? Like I don't want to burn through a dang 3 bags in a day. You could do it just by cutting the end of it down a little bit, but that'll save you some money. But dude, it would make that jig, and this is like a 3/8 to I had 2 of them rigged up. I had a 3/8 and a half-ounce jig, and it would make not only skipping easy, but that jig would have kind of a glide to it. When it hits the water, and it was in a clear water reservoir, so those fish could see it from a ways away. And dude, half the time it didn't hit the bottom, and I'd have one. And I ended up catching a 6-pounder that day on a place that you don't catch a 6-pounder on.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm
I
like
love
this. Well,
juicy
this is
stuff.
getting some confidence in this thing real fast. So.
Yeah, that'll do it real quick, right? So, like,
and I was
and what's
I was
did you
rigging it.
go
I
ahead?
was rigging it flat, and I'm like, you could probably rig it vertical, with the line tie. So but you would take and cut the top. I think I saw Ike doing that where he was cutting the top, but I was rigging it flat. But I don't know if it mattered.
And you can rig it flat. You can cut the top off, and then you can repurpose that top part if you're smallmouth country and put it on marabou jig, right? Like,
Yeah. Or you could take and cut the top off and thread some jig strands through it and just throw it in a baggie for later. So when you go
oh,
smallmouth fishing, you would just have a bunch of little balls of Maxscent with jig strands through it.
love it.
Just ideas are flowing right now.
We got you going. So, what would you say are like some perfect situations that you feel that the Flux skill excels over any other like max scent bait?
Well, I mean, for years and years, I've been preaching that, and I've been preaching about Maxscent, but just preaching to Berkley about coming out with more shapes that we could utilize because this stuff excels when the fish are smart, right? The smarter the fishery or the smarter the fish in the fishery, that's when this stuff really comes into play. Yeah, if you're burning through, 50, 100 fish a day, which I don't think there's very many places left that it's just changed. Like the fisheries are getting tougher. And if you have anything like that we've learned over the past several years, it's that little tweak, it's a little twist. And this is something that if they're around it and they're looking at your bait and presentation, I want this stuff on my side because I feel like it's going to give not everyone, but it's going to give you an edge and get some more bites. And I think those are the situations when you're fishing around people or you're just fishing around pressured fish that you got to have something that's a little bit different. We're seeing fuzzy dice, all these different baits that, I mean, what are we fishing with? Spiders, right? So is it really the bait or is it just showing the fish something new? So
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at. We're showing, you're giving a fish because honestly, I still don't know how many people are using Maxscent day in and day out.
Let's keep
So
it that way.
well, I mean, I gotta help these guys sell some packs
That's
too for
fair.
sure.
That's fair. We'll give you that. I mean,
But I mean, you start going around and looking at the decks at major events of guys' boats, and you'll start seeing it pop up. And I've seen it. I mean, basically since about 2020, I've seen it on a lot of guys' stuff. So they're using it. They know it's just not being talked about.
and it's funny. It seems like too, like it's one of the only baits that like hasn't phased out yet. Like I feel like when a new bait hits the market, you get like a 2 year, maybe 3 year shelf life with it, and you're like,
Sure.
I know it's gonna work in the soft plastic range. And some beavers have like some beaver style baits, creature style baits. They will always work because you're getting reaction bite when you're flipping on them, right? But like
Right.
there are certain baits that like this is so niche, and then all of a sudden it's like crap, they don't bite this dang thing anymore.
Yeah.
And it's because
Yeah.
everyone got onto it, and now they're like, nope. And it's like genetically imprinted in their brain not to
Dude,
bite that bait.
we've watched it evolve. I
Yeah.
mean, you throw a minnow today, they'll still eat it, but there's a lot more that look at it and don't eat it.
Yeah,
Am I
100%.
right?
100%. It's fine. I
And so
actually I think this year was my best year fishing a minnow that I've ever had. But
yeah,
because you're fine tuning it more, I'm fishing it more, I'm figuring out the exact jig head for the exact bait, and there's so much
yeah,
science behind it that you could have like a 10-hour video on it and still just scratch the surface. It's
right.
the most simplistic technique that's not simple at all, which is
Not simple at all.
no.
No. But I
But
mean, just to go around the country though and know what it did before.
yeah,
I mean, literally 2 years ago, the power of it to, I like the ratio of what you threw at to what bit. And now it's like, dude, they just get smart. Now you go to a place that hasn't seen it or doesn't have a lot of boats, have fun. You're going to crush them on it all day long.
ain't that the truth? So I want to, before we get into the last question, I do want to talk about like some of your absolute favorite ways to rate. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but like, let's say you have 3 rods on deck, right? Like, what are the 3 ways that you, Hunter, are going to rig it and
Mm.
fish the Flux skill? Like, day in and day out, if you had 3 ways to rig it, what would they be and why?
All right, so my 3 favorite ways to rig this thing. That's tough. That's really tough because I got a lot of different ways I want to fish it. One, a Nico rig. I mean, you could do so much with a Nico rig, having it, whether that's brush piles, fishing docks with it. You got to have it, finessey version on a Nico rig. And now I'm going to skip a couple and probably go to a jig trailer just because I've had so much success already
Yeah,
with it.
catching a 6-pounder, right?
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
have it as a
needed.
jig trailer. And with that, I want to say also, I'm gonna kind of it's a bladed jig trailer. Okay, so that's still two, but I'm gonna have it on the same rod. I'll cut them off and retie. Dude, a bladed jig with that as a trailer, it's juicy. So the third one is probably got to be, I would say Texas rig, but I'm not going to. I'll say a free rig. So I want to keep it finessey, using some, power tackle. Free rig. I think the biggest thing is trying to run your weight as light, you know what I mean, as you can, to kind of give that thing the most action, and just fish the thing, dummy style. You don't have to do a whole lot. Pitch it out there, let the thing fall on free line, and then just drag it back, short little hops, probably 5, 6, 7 seconds, reel it in. But
I
those
will
three
not
ways.
lie. The free rig is probably like my favorite way to catch Great Lakes fish.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like you just
and I
it
fish
doesn't
it
snag
completely
up.
different
It's
than
just
everyone else. I'm like 7'6", medium heavy, 17-pound fluoro,
yeah.
3/4 ounce weight, and just give it to them, and they
Okay.
don't care.
Yeah, just let them go.
Yeah, it's so much fun, especially
That's
when you're
awesome.
like bombing it out and you're like thrown into a group and you're sitting there shaking it, and then you
Yeah,
hop it like, and you just drop the rod tip immediately, and you go to
just
pick it up and you're like, cool.
yeah. I wanna see that thing under the water when it's doing that too, like how much line separation there is and stuff. It's gotta be pretty cool.
Oh, it is like I'm like Garmin. I've like kind of messed around with it too, like zooming in and shallower water because I want to see how fast the heavy weight drops in front of
Right.
it, because you can
Yeah.
kind of see that separation. It's like
Yeah.
at times like 4 or 5 feet. Like, it's
Wow. And then
unreal.
you got that much,
Yeah,
distance for that thing to just do its work.
you just hit that weight on the bottom. And you just slowly drag it back into it. And, oh god, it's awesome. So
But literally, you can like any way you can think of a soft plastic, and you can say all the like, but seriously, you can rig it just about any way you want to. I think another way you could do it would be on a dang jig head minnow, just to give them a different look. Like if
that
you
thing would
wanted to
hover.
brush pile fish, like, and I don't even know it, yeah, you could do it where it's flat, but I mean, you could almost do it vertical too if you wanted to cut some of that front out and have it where it's, I don't know, it's a lot of different ways to do it. Basically, any way a soft plastic can be rigged, this thing's going to do it. But that tail kick does a lot.
Yeah, I would say so. So this is gonna be a fun question. The Lure Lab is presented by Omnia, so we do an Omnia Juice of the Week at the very end of every episode. But I kind of want to stretch your brain here and make you think a little bit, because you've already gone over. You kind of ruined the question I have, so I had to think of one here on the fly. And I'm saying that because you talked about like all these different little tweaks and modifications that you can do. But
Sure.
what would be, like, off the cusp, if there's one way that you have not fished the Flux Gill yet, what is one way of rigging it that you think that you could catch a fish on it that you have not done yet? Like, and possibly
Ever?
add it into your arsenal.
Like ever? Like
Yeah.
a way that
Like
I've
you're
never
like,
rigged?
oh, I had just thought of this and now I have to try it.
Hmm. Trying to think. That's tough. Hmm. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I mentioned about all the ways you could rig it.
I have one idea that I think it could work.
Hang on. Shad spawn.
That's where I was going with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I think
like, that Alabama Twitch swim jig
yeah,
retrieve?
yeah,
I'm like, "Oh, I bet this thing with that little quiver tail, like, super."
guaranteed.
Yeah,
You can pitch it around docks, whether you have it on a jig or just, a Texas rig, whatever. And that's I got this one sitting
yeah, that's where the white comes in. 'Cause
here.
obviously, like a buzzbait,
Or
like
this
you
one.
could do it on a buzzbait, but I'm like, what would be like a fun subsurface way to fish this thing?
Right.
Like,
No, that would be. I think the shad spot. I kind of already thought about that though, like in the spring and be able to keep your bait up, floating and stuff. The profile's there, right? Like
yeah,
they're not going to be. It's not the same, little swim bait or something comes skipping by them. It's going to look like a big.
uh,
You know,
this might be like we're gonna kind of dive into some weeds here real fast before I let you go. But I wonder if there's a way that you could like kind of like slice it here with like a razor blade and push a weight through the mid belly, right, and then nose hook it.
you just took my way of winning events next year away from me. You just took it. Thanks. I
And
wasn't even
and
going to
glue
give
it
that
back
up.
together with some mend it, like, but
I'm taking
like some
I'm taking full credit for your idea.
but yeah, like I'm like just to give it a little bit of extra weight, I wonder how that would make that thing like swim like just on a
Right.
nose hook.
Or you could put it on that core tackle thing.
Yeah, that too. But I'm like, you know
But
how they
that
like
is
nose hook a fluke?
right.
Like I wonder how
That
that would
flat
work.
that flat profile is really it opens up a lot of windows for, stuff like that where it is going to glide like a tube, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but even then, like it's not. I think this glides even more. You know what I mean? In certain scenarios, and yeah, you can only use a tube so many different ways. Like
ain't
it's
that
kind of
the
limited
truth?
out. So that's definitely could be used a lot more in different ways. But like a creature style bait, a beaver, they're flat, but they're not wide enough. So that you still see it. It just goes, and nothing in nature is necessarily always just. They always kind of do this. You look at a crawfish.
Even rocks, like you throw a rock in the water, it doesn't go straight down sometimes though.
Yep. Yeah. So just that, dude, that little bit, and I think that's a big separator from it in different shapes is just having it super flat and being able to glide around.
Yeah, that I look forward to throwing it. I just got a couple packs like 3 or 4 days ago, and I'm like, ooh, these things are
Yep.
juicy. So I want to say thank you for taking the time to come on here. And
Well, I appreciate you having me. It's been a good time talking about it. We need to get some more episodes under our belt. I
we
mean,
will.
that was one date, so we
We
can
gotta get you
definitely
back
do
on the
more.
main show too. Like that's long overdue as well.
Yeah. Well, Bailey invited me the one time and then he didn't call me back. So that's on Bailey. Give him crap.
I'm gonna edit that and send it to him.
Good. Like, remember that
Love it.
time you called Hunter and then you didn't call him back?
Hey, I almost did that to you yesterday. Like,
No,
so
no, you're good. You texted me back. Bailey never did.
oh, that I'm 100% taking that and sending it to him. He's gonna be
Oh, that's
so mad
awesome.
at himself. I love it.
Yeah. But no, I'm already trying to get some more of these, honestly, because I already know what's going to happen is come spring and they're going to be out of stock.
Great. Yeah. So
It's
hopefully
going to
people
be
buy it because of this episode. So wherever you buy it, if it's not Omnia, leave a review and tell them you bought it because you heard of it on our podcast. So
yeah, do you got a discount code for them?
yeah,
Throw
for
it out.
Omnia, I'm not sure if it's on Omnia's website yet because they're going through like a transition, but it's Series 10 at
There
Omnia.
you go.
And if it is there, the link will be down below so guys can go buy them
Perfect.
there. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they did
But yeah,
like
I think it'll be
a
like
merging with
flatworm.
Thorn Brothers. So I don't know.
Oh,
They'll have a
nice.
bunch of inventory on the website yet, I don't think. So
Well, hopefully that stuff can get. I mean, nowadays they can make those transitions so much faster than what they used to. So hopefully
100%.
that'll get cleared up. It'll
So
be the flatworm 2.0 scarcity.
yeah, the only other thing that I think would be cool is that they made like a 2.5 inch size. You're like
Maybe
maybe
it's coming. Maybe it's coming. I don't know.
yeah, 7 inch version, like
Dude, that would be actually pretty cool.
like
Bed fishing only.
bed, the bed gill.
Yeah, the bed gill.
Love
But
it.
the other thing too is how many fish. I know you're wanting me to go,
You're
but
fine, man.
I wanted to say this: how many fish key in on brim, right? Like literally, like I don't think we take into account how many fish are like we throw crawls, right? We throw shad baits, but how many times are we actually like probably getting bit because it's like a brim deal?
Oh, and I'm like, I could be completely off base here again, but am a firm believer that some of the biggest fish in the lake are
Brim eaters.
purely brim eaters, like
Yeah,
crappie, bluegill, sunfish, whatever, right? Like perch
right.
eaters, and then you have the brim eaters, and those are like the
Yep.
two fattest populations of bass in the lake.
I would agree with that. And it's like I think they like even offshore, in Tennessee River here at the house, I'll be out there and I'll catch a bluegill in like 15 foot of water. Like there's schools of brim out there, that
You
we
know they're
think,
sharking it at some point.
yeah, like they're keying in on that stuff. And it's just I think time of the year definitely plays a role into that. But they eat a lot more brim than what we think they do.
100%. I think that's a good note to end it on. So,
Like it.
Hunter, I'm not kicking you out, but I'm saying
I'm out.
thank you for coming on. No,
I appreciate you having me. Are you sure you don't want to talk about it anymore? We're
we can
good.
talk about it as long as you want, but the viewers
I'm
might not
done.
like a longer
I'm
episode.
done.
So,
We're good. I love it. I appreciate you guys for having me on.
yeah, thank you. You're always welcome, unless Bailey's doing the scheduling, obviously.
Right.
So
Yep.
we'll just give him some more flack with that while we
Okay.
can. He does a
Very
great
good.
job. So,
Awesome.
all
All
right,
right.
bud.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Yep. I'll
We'll
talk to you
chat
guys
soon.
later.
Yeah, bye now. And that's a wrap, folks. Thanks for tuning into this week's episode here on the Lure Lab, presented by Omnia. Man, what a good one. So many tidbits, pieces of advice, random ways and different ways to rig it on different baits, swim jigs, bladed jigs, Carolina rigs. You could go old school or as new school as you want with the Flux Gill. So make sure you check it out. Thank you for watching all the way to this point of this episode here on the Lure Lab. And if you're new on YouTube, hit that subscribe button or leave a comment down below if you're a believer in the Maxscent line. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform and it allows you to leave a review and you haven't done so yet, please do it. Helps the Lure Lab be seen by more people who are interested and want to learn more about bass fishing. So until next week, we will catch you all then.